Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4, and today it's our final thoughts for Agemonia. Ooh, how's our host been feeling after the campaign? Because he was disappointed at first, but he may have changed his opinion. So let's go to Lipstickpaddy. Well, we'll go to him right after this special message. A big thank you goes out to every subscriber as we got past 750 subscribers. And a special secret stretch goal was broken, which was to take our weekly show and upgrade it to a podcast. And on this podcast we are doing 50% music, 50% news of Kickstarter of the week, and also a Q&A so you can send questions in each week, and we look forward to answering any questions you have at the station. Now, you can listen to the first podcast. It's the link will be in the description, and it's also in our banner on our Kickstarter, getting ahead of myself, on our YouTube page at the top. So what are you waiting for? Tune in and see if you really like the first of our broadcast show, as the music in it is very, very cool, and something you will not have heard before, so it's like discovering a new genre. We very much hope you enjoy what we did. So, thank you so much for listening. Let's get to the new feature of today. Well, good evening, peeps. It's Sunday night here, and I'm going to call it Agemonia is in its final hours. I'm going to call it Agemonia because everyone's calling it Agemonia, but why have you got the E there? Agemonia for me. Ha. A new hero is unlocked, and meh. I was originally $1 pledging this, and I've stuck it in euros here so we can see. But I actually dropped my $1 pledge due to the way the campaign went, and it didn't really float my boat, especially the way it was getting stretched, and we'll see what we go down, but I'm going to go down my final thoughts. Okay. Covered this originally on the channel, of course, and I was disappointed by it because it was one of my anticipated games of the Q3 2021. Some of the things I were not happy about, though, were the minis. I don't like how the minis look, and the standees as well. I would have hoped they got upgraded to acrylic standees, because acrylic makes the art pop a lot more than what we're seeing here. And I think the only interesting thing of the Kickstarter for me is the coins, metal coins that you can get. Now, the reason I've kind of dropped my $1 pledge from the game is because I may as well just wait for retail, because what is the Kickstarter giving me that I am not going to get? Because everything that's getting unlocked is going to go into the retail game, but a few things that aren't. You'll notice here as well the social stretch goals. The community here have just largely been ignoring these. There's not been much buzz around the project at all, really. They should have smashed through all of these. It's really odd that they didn't. So, I think if the community would have got onto this game a lot better, the campaign may have been better, but the campaign's been a little bit of a weak source for me. And there have been a lot of updates. Some of them have been lower updates, but the lower updates were kind of story of the world, because it has this kind of sci-fi feel that you're kind of in a kind of a world like, what's that film called? Avatar film. It's like that. But and the world as well, it's kind of like, it's more fantasy based. But yeah, I had a big concern about these cards, and even more so now, because last week Dungeons of Infinity, one of the later stretch goals was to completely redo all the art in the game, and they showed like an example of what a I'll get my editor, put a picture up here of the upgrade to the a spider, just to show you what art it came from and went to. Just stunning art, and it was like art that is worthy of a Premier League Kickstarter campaign. And here it's it's like not Kickstarter exclusive. This is retail. I'll call it a retail art, where they didn't really think it was really necessary to step up the plate, I guess I want to say. These chip upgrades, these are all on your... If you watch any playthroughs, they've got these chips. I don't know why it came as a stretch goal to unlock these, but it does say it's a direct exclusive, so these are going to be part of what you don't get in the retail. These extra action tokens, which they're calling as well an exclusive, I don't even know why this is a stretch goal. You could just put these in the box. The new monsters, in fact, the whole monster design is where I was kind of as well more disappointed with, because it's all this biological and biotic stuff. So I'm not, I mean, you could say that's going down the Avatar track, but I'm not really into that, really. I've got to say, this unlock here for the boss scenario, the boss doesn't look like a boss, though, does he? It looks like a normal villain, for example, from Tanaris Arena of the Contest first Kickstarter. That's what it looks like. And all of the arena models have been completely upgraded into new fantastic models, and this is still on what I would call tier 1 minis. So in a vacuum this game would look interesting, but now that we've got a lot of Kickstarters and that you can still get Arena of the Contest late backing on the Tanaris RPG, if you just compare minis, I mean, it's tier 1 and tier 2, and the art on the Dungeons of Infinity, day 1 on the campaign it was tier 1 art, and it went to tier 2 on the upgrade, and this game's got tier 1 art. So tier 1 art, tier 1 minis. It's gone for this app thingy here, where the current trend is to go on foreteller. And for example, here it says, we will record in a studio, and Eric Vorspo is a voice over actor. But the reason foreteller exists is that each character that speaks is a different actor in foreteller, and foreteller has the music for every location you are in the game. And even though it's saying sound design for each card, foreteller is such, I mean, you can hear here the example of the encounter, but compared to foreteller, it's night and day. We're going to call this tier 1 app, and tier 2 is foreteller, well, but tier 3 really foreteller. It really is next generation stuff. And depending on how much art you need, it you know, in games that are foreteller, if you look at them, they're all premier board games. If we can put up here now just some of the games that you can get on there, they're all super amazing Kickstarters. You're like joining the league of fantastical games, right? So Agemonia could have gone into that campaign, but it decided not to. And the argument is, we're giving you this for free, but I don't know if that's what people want. The Kickstarter's not blown up, I'll say that much. The pit here, this would have been interesting, a battle arena, but again, it's more of a biotic. It's just a bit of slime. So it's not like there's a boss in here, but it's an interesting concept. Anyway, the battle arena. Just some new weapons that are in the game. You know, in the game there's crafting, so I would have preferred crafted recipes than just recipes in a shop. Especially as crafted weapons should be the best weapons you can get in any game that you can craft in. Some more Shiver officers. Now we'll get down to the minis where it shows all the minis. There's quite a lot of repeat minis, and the stretch goals could have replaced minis. So instead of having 6 of the same, this could have been 3 different ones. So you got you didn't get too many similar minis. But no, they're adding some more. And the new hero that they added was it necessary to get another hero? I really don't know if this is like got people excited that a new hero unlocked. Now it says new illustrations on this stretch goal, but it says add the world encounter cards are going to add illustrations, but look, it's the size of a postage stamp on the page here, and there's a lot of like text here. And if you've got your app, shouldn't this card just have a number on it that you can put in the app and it will read this for you? It seems a little bit like they could put all this text in a book, a bit like in Waste Nights that I've been playing recently. The adventure book, you just has a number on it, you turn to the book and you can read out what it says, or you put it on the app. So here, just write it all on the card when you could have some beautiful art here. And it even does say, what do you do? And it's turning to pages in the adventure book, so it's a little bit weird. Oh, it's turning to these 5, 2, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. Extra monster. These monster designs, look how poor they are. I wouldn't even call it tier 1 on Kickstarter. That's like tier 0. It's just the most boring unlock. A slug. And this is one of my concerns about the game, is that they would have just been as good as a standee, because the minis make them look even worse. Because a lot of the Kickstarters I'm backing, the miniatures look so good you could put them in a display case, but in here you'd be hiding them in the box. New story point. It's quite odd how they've been these are on the stretch goals to add more, and I wish they'd done like daily unlocks through the campaign just to give you this stuff, where the things like this were added to it, because the map is going to have the Smartax seat, a story point location, and a sticker to add to it. Nah. And this one's fairly interesting, the Grindable scenario in the Vunkel Caves. This gives another thing to do. And some new encounter cards to add to the storybook. The kind of... if you look at the Dungeons of Infinity Kickstarter, I did final thoughts on that. The stuff that they were stretching at the end was, oh, this character has a story campaign. So that your actual character in the game has their own little story that you can go on. Or it's like, oh, this unlock gave you a 10 level side dungeon that you could go through. Or it unlocks a boss. The boss has its own storyline as you're hunting the boss. That's the kind of stretch goals it was getting in Dungeons of Infinity. And here we're just getting one extra place and a sticker. And one extra cave. It's like... In contrast, these are really weak stretch goals. And for example, instead, it gave some extra cards, but these were like small stretch goals. And to put this as a big stretch goal is a little bit disappointing. Yeah, adding one page to the storybook is kind of weak tea. Now it says MSRP €129. I bet you can get it for 99 at retail. I bet you can. And I think I'll just wait for that, because the shipping's not changed through the campaign. The shipping is still bonkers. Standees, these should 100% gone acrylic. If you look in the middle here, you can see the slug looks better than the miniature here. And when your standee art looks better than the miniature, you know you've got a problem here. And showing this work in progress thing like this. The new thing these days is to have an animated GIF, and this looks like it's still like early in its concept to have it. And yeah. But here are all the minis. The red miniatures, I don't know. you get them. You see some of these red ones, and it does nothing justice to the art. None of these standees for me actually look anything special. They just look so ordinary. I mean, is there anything here you've not seen before? Is there anything here that kind of makes you go, ooh, that'd be hard to fight? They're just all lack of inspiration on the art is how I feel. I mean, look at this big guy here. The model just looks tier 0. The devil here just looks tier 0. And they look kind of like miniatures from maybe Hero Quest back in the 80s. That's what I kind of get a feeling of them all. And they're just not up to tier 1 or tier 2 Kickstarter at all. And the bases, just their flat bases, add to the feeling that they're tier 0. And in fact, yeah, like it's $50 to get these minis, and paying $50 for just these minis. Would not go for the mini pledge. The heroes themselves are probably the best minis, thankfully, and you're going to be getting these in the base anyway, so you get this for your €99 pledge. Now they are giving you here, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heroes, and they've got the unlock for a 7 hero, and I would have preferred if they doubled down and just had a few of these, so they could actually write in quests for these characters that they could have, or even wrote dialogue from these people. But they're kind of throwing too many heroes into the mix where the story just can't facilitate that, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm just a little bit taken in by the other Kickstarters at the minute and the stretch goals that they've been locking, and the way they've kind of evolved into like an amazing game where it's completely evolved and changed. And this one, nothing's really been added that's been boiling with excitement. Sure, the maps look decent enough and that, but I'm just, after watching more playthroughs, I just did not really get into the buzz of it. I couldn't really get into it, really. I don't know what your feelings are on it, but again, here's another set of these minis, and would you pay to get them sun-dropped? I mean, I'm going to be hiding these in the box, and if I got the minis and they came out, they'd just be... I'd be saying these are the weakest minis I have in my whole collection. That's probably what I would say. Especially as many people don't paint them, and when people give an excuse, oh, they look much better when they're painted. Everything looks much better when they're painted. But these don't inspire me for me to want to paint them. 400 story cards. Okay, yeah, you've got this scenario book. And this. Let's just go to the add-ons. The metal coins, I would totally miss these if I got the retail, but potentially you might see them at Gen Con and pick up the coins then. So that's something. Storybook, not interested in. Extra dice, I don't really want to play this game with 3. For me, it's a 2-player game, and I am interested. I put it on my retail watch list, but again, I'll be able to pick up these dice maybe at you know who. I do like the card offer that they have on it, because the tarot cards are really expensive to buy third party, right? So I do think that's not a bad offer. But yeah, get the. I mean, look at this. The pledge with the minis, it's 149, and just for €10 on that, you get the coins, the sleeves, and the dice, and the book for €9. No, Seamus. My name is Lipstickpaddy. I call myself Seamus because that's my name. No, this is the all-in, no mini pledge. This is really interesting. I might have gone for this if the shipping wasn't outrageous. So, I mean, coming in here thinking, it's not stretched that far from the retail. And there is this nice offer to get metal coins, extra dice, the lore book, and the sleeves. This looks an interesting proposition, the all-in, no mini pledge. However, when we go down to the shipping, it's turns me right off. And anyway, they had this Rabo's riddles and rewards. I was playing some of these and then I just got bored with them because if you don't do them, they get unlocked anyway. So, and these are like daily unlocks, and the daily unlocks are like one card, one item card, one figurine of Agemonia, and I think the last one's going to unlock a hero or a baddie, but it's like, as daily stretch goals, it's every 2 days. As a 2 daily stretch goals go, these are week T. They really are week T. And here we go with the shipping. Outrageously expensive. So expensive. I mean, look at rest of the world though. 177 euros for the just the core pledge is like, dear me, are you kidding me? They still not fixed this. And for me, it's like they obviously have not even looked at other carriers that can do the shipping, because Lucky Duck Gaming, they are offering cheaper shipping rest of the world, much cheaper than what you're doing, and no mention of popular names like Quartermaster or anything like this. So it's just shaking my head at this, and I think this is the shipping prices here is what's turning a lot of people off the Kickstarter. So I'm looking at it and I'm just going, one, the Kickstarter has not evolved from day one into anything special. Two, it hasn't stretched itself above and beyond what the retail box is. And thirdly, the shipping is too expensive. So each of those reasons could be a very good retail game. But then again, when it comes to retail, you might have reviews and they'll tell you how good Agemonia is. So, you know, you don't have to take as much as a risk as you are doing on Kickstarter. And there are still concerns out there from my first hero that some of the mundane stuff you're doing in the quest takes too long. And it is a little bit slow, especially when there's more than 2 of you playing it. But there you go. I mean, it didn't really blow up on Kickstarter. It didn't even, you know, get to the 2,000 backer. And that's just because, one, non-inspiring stretch goals really didn't do anything to impress us. It was kind of set up to be retail, and the only big exclusive that I guess bringing is those miniatures, but they're like tier 0 miniatures. Something you might have got on Kickstarter maybe 8 years ago. And so it didn't really get me that much more excited. I kind of was disappointed at the beginning, then I cooled off and started following the project, and then as it started to get near the end, I just got more bored with following it, and it just died off with its excitement for me. But that's just the way I feel on it, peeps. Let me know in the comments what you feel about Agemonia, and how did you feel how the campaign went? Did you have the same kind of feelings as me, as a bit drib, drab, a little bit dull? And I guess the only reason it is disappointing is because it was on my anticipated list, and so far every game on my anticipated list has been phenomenal, and it's only this one that's let me down. So yeah, Agemonia, there you go. Not an it didn't grow into a miracle on Kickstarter. It kind of just was a polished retail game with a box of minis that you can get. Nothing too special. There's so much more on Kickstarter, and for example, last week on Kickstarter was just incredible. Now, I thank you so much for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and please check out our podcast, our new podcast, and really hope you enjoy the music that I play on that, because it's really, really unique, special, and tasty stuff. Whew, my goodness. Now, I must say thank you so much for watching. Think about subscribing to the channel if you like Kickstarter, following Kickstarters, and you're a big fan of Kickstarter board games. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You've been listening to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.